heat of the summer. Let's take a look and see what is going on for Sagittarius this week. And let's break it out. All right, here we go, Sagittarius. All right, here we go. Sagittarius, 10 of Swords is the first one that comes up. Interesting little conversation that we're having in this first row. We have the Temperance card for balance. What's interesting about that is the thing that Sagittarius is most looking for right now is balance. Initially, the first card that pops out is the 10 of Swords. For those of you on my YouTube, you can see the picture in picture. And the relationship of the cards to one another. I'll do my best to hold those up for the rest of you. So the first one we have is the 10 of Swords. This is restriction, feeling like you're stuck, a little overcommitted maybe. You're coming at things with a lot of emotion, yet you're being very direct. You have the Emperor. So what is it about things that are going on with you right now that's taking grace, strength? You're feeling stuck in between places right now. You've got the Hangman, right? What the Hangman talks to us about is the growth period or feeling a little stuck. So what I would say with that is, you know, this is when you're putting let's say you're buying a house and you've put your offer in and now you're waiting for escrow and all the paperwork to go through. This is one of those things that you can't rush. Same thing with like getting a job, like waiting for the interview process to get hired. This is a stuck phase, right? It's the in between. But remember, you can't pick an apple in December. We have to wait for all these phases to go through correctly. What is the tension about? We've got the 4 of Swords. I gotta look that up. Sword of Damocles, I think it is. Someone look that up for me. Where he's got the sword on his nose. So this represents tension, deadlines, a little bit of heaviness, expecting the other shoe to drop somewhat. I can see a little overwhelm with, she said, shadow work is testing with a thesis. Okay, so we've got the 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is representative of feeling stuck. If you notice here, he has this blinders on, right? Swords all around him and blinders on. And ultimately, he's not sure how to proceed forward, right? Throughout all of the chaos that he sees in front of him. And in turn, this has caused us to feel a little bit like walking away from things. We've got the Queen of Swords. For those of you that know me, know that I call that the bitch card. This means we have to be very direct. Paired with the Emperor, this is saying that you have to be like super direct. If somebody's not listening, like you've got to spell it out in the simplest of terms. And back when I was a paramedic, I remember my partners were like, man, you can cuss some people out sometimes and they just tend to be super sweet afterward. For those of you that know, you know that some people only listen in a certain way. So this might be having to take the hammer out on certain individuals, the Emperor most especially, and the Queen of Swords representing how we speak, communicate, and convey these things. Now, here's the thing that I have to say is the Page of Swords means a little bit of impulse, like, well, the Knight and the Page of Swords. So one is like you haven't spoken up to this person before, or they act like they haven't, or you feel like you're up against it. And then we have this one here where it's like, all right, I don't have very much self-control here. So when you don't have self-control, you don't feel like the message is going to be delivered right. So this is like, I'm losing my shit. You better watch it. And then eventually you do. So I understand that. So with all of this, it feels like a lot of pressure and tension. A couple things are coming up. One thing that Sagittarius needs right now is temperance, which is balance. A little bit of coming from either side of the cup, give and take, fire and air, fire and water, the two opposing factors coming together in the tension in the middle. So what is it that you're waiting on? What's interesting here is we have the 4 of Wands, which represents our home and our foundation. So are you feeling stuck in your home? Are you feeling stuck in some of your choices? Are you wanting to move? We have the 7 of Coins. Or are things shifting for you within that environment? Here's what I can say to you, that with the Temperance card in play and also the Strength card, your advice is this: strive for balance. And then the Strength card goes on to talk to us about grace. If you are familiar with tarot at all, this card often represents or will often be depicted with a lion and an individual putting their like hand down their throat to show how docile this lion is or what they'll tolerate. Ultimately, this gives us an impression of the ability to manage the things that are in front of us. And what happens with the Strength card is a little bit of awareness that I'd like to bring forward for you. One of which is strength doesn't always have to do with muscle. It has some to do with finesse and grace. You can't tame a lion the way that you do other animals. You can't beat it with a stick. You have to use a little finesse. And so in this, what we're finding is the expectation is to lean back and surrender a little bit. And it's going to take a little strength from you in this next phase. I can tell you that the tension is going to break based here by the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is telling us that this is going to ease off. Things are going to kind of lighten up a little bit, and you're going to feel less like that you want to fight. I'm not saying that you're fighting now, but I do feel like this overwhelm and stuck feeling has got you feeling a little edgy. Okay. So this is a general spread right now. We do have the Queen of Wands. I would have to say that some of this might have to do with work. There is a tendency for some of you Sagittarius to want to walk away, whatever that's from. I don't feel like it's relationship stuff. I do feel like it's effort. So whatever your effort is being most put into, I feel as if Sagittarius is ready to like pull the plug and just like cut it out. Let's pull some cards for you from, let's pull some cards here for your moon reading. Okay, your moon is your circumstance, your environment, how you think, how you feel, and how you process. So this might be even your emotions. So let's take a look at your emotions. For those of you that are new, I would encourage you to like, subscribe, and share. Follow me on YouTube. Hang out for a little while. Let me know how your reading went. To book a one-on-one, visit karmaondeck.com. Spiritual mentorship classes or a reading of your own for some more in-depth information. All right, let's go here. Sagittarius moon. Here we go. King of Swords. So kings and queens, for those of you who followed me, you know I like to talk about tarot because I teach it. Take away a little bit of the mysticism and help you understand the tool. First thing that's coming up is the King of Swords. Now we talked about the Queen of Swords. Now I know I say that she's the bitch card, whatever, but what's true is they all have a different personality. If you've been following me long enough, you know that I refer to the court cards as personality and behavior rather than male or female. Our affect, how we behave, and how we move forward. Here's the thing. Sagittarius isn't all that pleased with things right now. I'm seeing a lack of sleep, a little bit of obsession over your problems where you're just going over them in your head over and over and over again. This is indicated by the Nine of Swords. If you notice, she's laying in bed and there's 1,000 things above her head. So she's not sure which thing to focus her attention on because there seems to be so much. Three of Swords, swords, communication. Swords and heart, right? If you don't communicate, things are going to kind of crash down on you. So this card represents communication, like you're not getting through to the people that you love or that you want to. We have the 10 of Wands and the Tower card. So are you waiting for this other shoe to drop right now? Is that what's going on with you? Because I see this really wanting to quit. Listen, you play how you practice, right? So if you're going in your head over and over and over again, how like, right, forget this, I want out, feeling betrayed as if someone isn't owning up to their half of the bargain, feeling a little bit unpleasantly moody. So this, I call this one the big pout. If you notice here, he's sitting here pouting and she's watching him because there's nothing we can do with an attitude or a mood like that. So right here we have the big pout. So I feel that Sagittarius is very frustrated right now. And even look at this one. This one's a deep mood. We're feeling sad. So like I was saying with kings and queens, right? You have the King of Swords, which means that you have some decisions to make. Kings being active and action. Think of your right hand versus your left hand, feminine versus masculine. You have the King of Swords. So decisions and action needs to be taken. King of Swords, King of Wands, verbally and physically. This means you have to take leadership in some of this. Three of Cups is what you're really looking for. You're looking for more opportunities to enjoy yourself. And basically what I'm seeing for you is in order to shift this energy, it's going to require Sagittarius to take some action. Now, don't take that personally. It just means that you've kind of let things go in the way they've been, and you're currently looking for an out. Waiting it out isn't going to be the answer. It's going to take leadership from you. Let's pull a card for you from the Divination of the Ancients and see what your oracle reading is for this week. Are you ready? Here we go. Lots. Chance. So unless you take action, you're going to leave the results that you're seeing come to you next up to chance. But it's also asking you to, so the question here is, do you take a chance or do you wait? This card is recommending that you take a chance because this means that throw your locks out there. Things are already in motion and trust yourself. Hopefully that's given you some insight and helped you